mental health, disability, education, and family services are all tracked in Section C. This is an area filled with calculated values that depend heavily on setup and data entry. There are also quite a few questions with subparts, which means if the first number is wrong, so are all of the ones directly associated with it. My name is Amy Corkery, and this is Belicia Carter. We have with us today our training consultant, Kenna Pruitt. Hey, Kenna, thanks for discussing such a complex part of the PIR with us today.
You know I live for the shenanigans that occur with the PIR, and believe it or not, I have a couple of reports that can help us troubleshoot a big chunk of this section pretty quickly. Several questions in this section are tracked using yes, no, and drop-down fields. When troubleshooting those questions, we typically look for blank spaces. Well, leave your calculators alone because I have two reports that will easily tell you if something is missing, and you won't have to add and subtract anything. I'm going to open report 9800 PIR answers so that you are easily able to see what I'm going to show you. I've opened this report 3 times, with each one focusing on a specific area. This first one will look at health items since health-related questions are the first to appear in Section C. This report is designed to show you responses for many of the questions tracked in Section C. If you look at this column, you will see all of the questions that I can monitor with this report. C1 through 7, C11 through 13, and C17 through 18 are all on this report. Take a look at the final column and you will see the responses entered for each one. I can see that I have some data entered for most of my participants, but I also have a few blank fields. Luckily, this report has an option to filter the columns. I'm able to have the report show only the questions with blank fields. I can then save and email this report to the staff responsible for this information, or just have them run the report themselves.
Let's go back to the report and look at mental health. I would like to point out some options on the report setup page. The filter you showed us on the report was nice, but we could also check this box and the report will open to show only participants with missing data.
Let's click over to the third report and look at family services. In this area, we track a lot of things that take place all year long. For that reason, I'm just as interested in looking for the responses with a no. I recommend having staff review this often to make sure the response is still no, or if the record needs to be updated.
I know we're only troubleshooting Section C, but just remember this report can also help with questions A24 and A27, which are for subsidy and transportation.
I love this report, and I told you all we would be able to address a lot of questions with a report. Going back to our PIR, we can scroll all the way to C8. This one is not just yes or no. There are a lot of factors that are used to determine if a participant should count as up to date.
But don't bring out the calculators just yet. Report 9711, Children Not Counted for C8, will show you exactly who isn't counting and why. If you use this report, see the item listed in the health record and the participants is just not counting. Consult the calculation guide.
Because like Kenna said, there are a lot of factors to consider.
Right. It may be your setup. Perhaps things aren't mapped properly, or it could be due to incomplete data entry.
Let's look back at the PIR. I want to point out something else we mentioned earlier. This one has follow-up questions associated with it. Knowing which participants are in need of treatment is easy with the PI audit reports, but there are many users that get stuck here because they don't realize that your participants won't show up as needing treatment until they're up to date. That also means you could end up with an unpleasant surprise at the end of the year. If you work all year long to get your participants up to date and then they appear on the audit report as needing treatment, there may not be enough time left to address the issue.
This is why we monitor through the whole term and use a variety of reports. I would use Report 3050 with health actions to keep an eye on participants identified as needing treatment. This will help us avoid those unwelcome surprises.
C10, 15, and 16 are easily monitored with the audit report linked to this question. So let's go to C19 and C20. Guess what? There is a report that will again show who isn't counted and why. This time, it is report 9712 for Head Start and Migrant and 9713 for Early Head Start. Again, if the problem isn't on your report, check your setup.
The calculation guide, along with audit reports, are a great way to monitor disability-related questions. Errors here are almost always related to data entry. Use the calculation guide to determine where the data should go and update data entry procedures as needed.
That brings us to education. Question C28 looks for all new applicants. Agencies that have used the software for some time can rely on enrollment records to identify the new participants. Those of you that are new to ChildPlus will have to override. This is important because the next question is only answered if the participant is first identified as new. Use report 9714 to locate participants not counting, along with the reason why.
Scroll past the next set of fields because they're all manual entry and stop on C35. For most of these questions, we refer you to the audit report, but I'm going to ask you to consider another report. Report 2013 Participant Diagnostic Report is another awesome report specifically designed to show what's missing and point out a few areas of concern. If you look at the final column on the right, this report will show you which families are missing or have inconsistent terms for parental status.
If you see anything in that column, missing or blank, you want to stop right there because C35 through C39 are already wrong. ChildPlus needs the parental status to answer those questions. Use this report to help clean up that field before proceeding.
Once you have all of your parental statuses entered, use your audit reports to locate families with missing information.
Wrap up this section with a few more manual fields and you've successfully monitored all of Section C.
Wow, Kenna, that was great.
Really was. Thanks for joining us. If you've enjoyed this series, please comment, like, and share on Facebook. Then go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel for more weekly content.